Before we start today's podcast, I wanted to say a few words about the recent Los Angeles fires. My husband and I live in LA with our 2 dogs. Our hearts and prayers are with all those affected by the LA fires, including those within our own animal shelter and pet community. We are profoundly grateful for the unwavering dedication of our firefighters, first responders, volunteers, and law enforcement officers who have faced this monumental challenge and worked tirelessly to save lives, animals, and communities. We are providing a list of certified relief organizations in our podcast notes, and I've been so moved by all the work that Pasadena Humane has done to support all those displaced families and their beloved pets. Wags and Walks is another incredible nonprofit that is helping to shelter animals. Thank you for your generosity and support during this critical time. Stay safe and know that whether it's lending a helping hand, donating, or showing compassion to someone in need, every act of kindness matters. So we're here to talk about pets, pet nutrition and wellness, anything that can help our fur children live a longer, vibrant, and happier lives.
All right.
Yeah. Welcome to Vital Pet Life Podcast.
Hi, everyone. Another day, another episode to look forward to. Today, we'll bring you along the journey of a pet parent and the lady behind your favorite product, salmon oil. That's none other than Donie, Vital Pet Life's chief treat lady. So let's get started. I'm Dr. Amber, your official veterinarian at Vital Pet Life. Hey, Donie, how are you? Congratulations on being featured at the Amazon Accelerate 2024. Vital Pet Life has reached another milestone.
Hi, Dr. Amber. Yeah, it's a good experience. I'm really grateful for Amazon that we were featured and sharing our seller story. Yeah, I hope that we were able to convey our mission and goals here in Vital Pet Life, like really helping a lot of pets and making sure that we reach a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you guys. I think that you've done it and going to continue to do it. So very exciting.
Truly exciting.
So now that you're a fur mom of 2, Tuxedo and Jean Martin, and also a business owner at the same time, what is your take on product transparency, especially for pet parents?
Oh, I really wanted to know how or where the ingredients comes from in every ingredient or not just ingredient, but every supplement or food that I give my dogs. So I feel like transparency is very important. Like it should be one of the things that you look for in every product or anything that you ingest, especially, or anything that you put in your face, your hair. Like I feel like anything that basically comes near your body, like you need to understand what is this ingredient. I mean, especially now that there's so much allergens,
Right.
there's so many products that everything can be fixed, right? Like any ailment, anything that you need, you can find a solution.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like being transparent as a business owner or like finding ingredients, products that are behind basically tells you that what kind of ingredients and how they get it.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's cool too that you use that passion and curiosity you had for finding out about the source of ingredients and you turned that into Vital Pet Life, and that's still your mission. That even though you've grown, you've stayed true to that founding principle. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was kind of, I would say, like coincidental. Like I wasn't really thinking that I will go to that path of like really going deep, but always been part of my curiosity. Oh, I wonder, like I think we discussed this a lot of times when it comes to pet food, like the kibble. Like I always go and check what is the best food for my dog, especially when there were no selection back then, like early, mid 2000, 2010, 2011, when there was no fully prepared meals, right? Now there's so many alternatives. You can basically buy fully prepared food for them, and I don't even look at kibble anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what's kibble?
Yeah.
It's not, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying to me, like for my two guys, yeah, it's just my reality. I don't even like think about kibble.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that there's options for you and good food to keep your dogs healthy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Transitioning a little bit, I recently saw an article about two congresswomen that introduced a bipartisan legislation to support pet owners. So it's called HR 9508, the People and Animal Wellbeing Act, or the
Mhm.
PAW Act. So, what do you think about this?
Oh, that's awesome. And like, if it will really make a difference if it gets passed.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine the relief of pet owners. Pet care is very expensive, and
Right.
at the same time, the fact that they basically thought about like the correlation between pets and animal
Mm-hmm.
well-being. Oh my God, that is huge. I'm super excited for it.
Yeah.
Not everyone can pretty much take care. I mean, every little stage, right? Let's just say 10, 15 years of their life with us or even more. There's always different stages or challenges that they have to go through, especially health wise. And vet bills are very expensive. Other than
Yeah.
vet bills, like food too. So I mean, that's the reason why we're very driven in giving away education when it comes to preventative for pet ownership, why it's better to be preventative than reactive, right?
Yeah. I'm really excited about this too. The AVMA, our national organization for veterinarians, is supporting this bill too. So that's great that we have an advocate for this. And I think it'll just help a lot more people be able to afford those things that maybe in the past they wouldn't be able to, or give them a little more cushion. And in the bill, it's also written that a certain cap for pets looks like $1,000 that you can use your HSA or FSA funds for. But for service animals, for veterans and those with disabilities, there's actually no cap. So I think that's really cool because those pets, especially, I mean, they're workers. They do such an important job for veterans and those with disabilities that I think it's really great that they put that additional language in the legislation.
I think it's amazing.
So I have a question, not just for you, Donnie, but for other pet owners listening to our podcast. Have you ever been stressed before? Or let's rephrase it. Do you think that your dogs smelled your stress?
Totally. Like I feel like they can sense. I don't think smell is the right word, but do they sense the stress or whatever emotion that you're feeling? Of course they do. Especially tuxedo. Like tuxedo's really attached to me, and I can feel like we're so connected even just by thinking, right? And me not even like showing it, he can totally like sense that I'm anxious or stressed, like, and sometimes it manifests on him. Like I feel like it transfers to the animal sometimes.
Yeah. So we know that dogs can sense our stress. That's been well studied, and their sense of smell could be up to 1,000,000 times better than our sense of smell. So they can smell that stress, the sweat, and the cortisol, and like all of the physiological things that go along with stress. But a recent study came out that I thought was really interesting. That it didn't study the fact that dogs can sense stress, but it actually studied how the dogs are affected by stress in people. So I thought this was really interesting that they actually did conclude that the dogs were more reluctant in unfamiliar situations. They're more pessimistic when they can sense stress. When they couldn't sense stress, there was no real difference in before and after. But with the stress, they actually got less optimistic, more pessimistic, and more reluctant. So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, Dr. Amber, that's really amazing that they were able to do, there's like studies behind it. It's not just us like intuition thinking that, because you can totally see the changes of behavior in your animal.
Yeah.
I can tell, like, when I'm agitated or when, just raising the voice or anything, like I can see how they change their behavior.
Yeah.
But at least now there's studies behind it.
Yeah. And I saw this a lot in practice too. If you had a super stressed out human that brought in their dog, then the dog is more likely to be stressed out. So the dog and the human kind of feed off of each other and just kind of increase that stress. Yeah. So it's interesting to see this study that kind of backs that up, what I was seeing in practice.
What can we do as a parent or like a human to prevent them from absorbing it longer?
Yeah.
I mean, just calming down or probably relax.
Yeah, I think that, if you feel yourself getting stressed out and it's affecting your dog, then use those normal coping mechanisms, take a walk, get some sunshine, have some water, read a book, go for a swim, whatever it is that you use to calm yourself, I would do that. And I think especially for training, you get a new puppy, you get a dog that's, older, but not well trained. And this new training period can be really stressful, that it takes a lot of patience. So one thing that they mentioned specifically in the study was that during training, if you're stressed out and you're getting frustrated, it's actually causing your dog to be less responsive and less likely to learn what you're trying to teach them. So if you find yourself like, oh, I'm just so stressed out and trying to train, then you know that your dog is not learning what it should be learning. And so little by little, there's kind of a threshold. If you've done a little bit of training, but your dog's not responding as well, you're getting frustrated, then just stop, have some fun playtime, play fetch, play tug of war, go for a walk, so that we can kind of cut that stress and then go back to it, little by little, just a lot of patience and a lot of little training sessions to get that done.
Wow. That's a good tip. I get really frustrated, like sometimes when they don't listen and I just give in, especially when they wanted food, it's feeding time. Like I'm the one that basically deviates from when they start like, crying and just pacing around, like gets me anxious. And I'm like, you know what, I'll just give it so that, I can finish with what I'm doing. But yeah, I think that's a very good tip when you just sit down. Maybe to me, I'll breathe.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Take some
so
deep
fun.
breaths, listen to some calming music, your favorite music, or, whatever it is that helps you calm down.
Yeah.
So in practice too, I know some people don't necessarily like this. We had some clients that were not like this, but if you have a really stressed out owner and the dog's very, very anxious, then sometimes actually separating the dog from the owner for the exam or, blood draw or whatever, it actually helps. I noticed a lot of anxious dogs with anxious owners were easier to handle and were calmer when we took them out of the room, so that you don't have that feedback of anxiety between the dog and the owner. So again, I know that some people were like, I want to be with my dog. And we understand if the dog's not stressed out and they seem better with their owner, then by all means, we would do whatever we could in the room with the owner. But sometimes it was easier on the dog to take them away from their anxious owner for a minute so that we could do what we needed to do and then bring them back.
I'm laughing because I feel like I'm like that with Tuxedo.
Yeah.
Like I get really anxious when I go to vet exams with him because he starts shaking. He gets anxious when he's in the vet.
Yep.
And then like I get anxious and I'm like trying to calm him down, but he doesn't want to listen. And when he sees me, and I think the more like he gets anxious when I'm in the room, because I always wanted like in-room appointments.
Mm-hmm.
But knowing now, but that maybe he's just feeding into, like I'm feeding into his anxiety, and he is feeding into my anxiety. Like a vicious circle. But knowing what I know now, like I think it should be okay to drop them off sometimes for.
Yeah. Well, and if you have a good relationship with your vet and you trust them, that's the thing. You need to trust them. Yeah. I've never seen, in the practices that I worked with, the veterinarians that I worked with, I had never saw any mistreatment. And like I said, in many cases, it was less stressful on the animal if we got them away from their owner and then brought them back. And they were like, oh, good, my owner, and then the owner didn't have to see their anxious pet in that struggle because they were calmer away from their owner.
I think I'm gonna do that because he's got another exam coming up, and they wanted me to drop him off, but I said no.
Yeah.
And I said, don't worry, I'm gonna give him like CBD so they can relax.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Texty and I, like we've been through a lot of like vet appointments, and I think he hates it. I mean, as you guys already know, that he needs to have. I mean, he gets really a lot of vet appointments because of his stones, like his bladder stone, and I'm really hoping that we basically dissolve it. Like we've been trying our best to dissolve it, and unfortunately, he gets to be checked every 3 months, and
Yep.
imaging, blood work, everything. So he hates it. But I think that's the only way. I know it's too much. It gives us peace of mind. And I also like gives him peace of mind that,
Yeah.
he's healthy and he can do a lot of stuff that he still want to do. But
Yeah.
it's just anxiety that goes through it.
Yeah.
It's a lot for me. Like when it comes to
Right.
like, oh my God, is it like, it's the 3 month mark and I'm going to go there again.
Mm-hmm.
It's his schedule for x-ray. And I think I should change the appointment.
Yeah. Well, and one thing, every vet clinic is different. So I would check with your clinic before you do this. But in the clinics that I worked, we always encouraged owners to come in with their pets when they didn't have an appointment, not for an appointment, but to come in, to walk around the clinic, get pets, get treats. So they're in the clinic, but nothing's happening. They're not getting vaccines. They're not getting their blood drawn. They're just there for a happy visit. And I did notice, honestly, we didn't have very many people take us up on it, but those dogs who had previously been really stressed out and their owners would do that consistently, then like the next time you had to do a real visit, the dog was like, oh, this is the place where they give me pets and treats. And it wasn't this big stressful ordeal. So again, for people listening, check with your vet clinic and see if they would allow you to do this. But I think it's such a good idea to bring them into the clinic where nothing's going to happen to them except happy things.
Okay, I think I should do that, and maybe I'll buy like Puppuccino, and maybe he will.
Yeah. I mean, make it, a happy car ride. Just give them their favorite things and then they'll stop associating like, oh, every time I get in the car, they're taking me to the vet, or every time I come in this building. Because, going back to the conversation we've just had, how we know dogs can smell stress. They can hear other pets. They can smell the stress in the clinic. They can smell the other pets. They can smell the stress of the people in the lobby. But let's, condition them that not every visit is going to be this big stressful ordeal.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I'll try to do that. Maybe if he can visit early and just to walk around and then come back.
Yeah. And it doesn't really have to put, the clients that did that never put a big stress on our clinic. Like we were busy, but we'd let them in and we'd, let them walk around, and everybody loves giving dogs pets and treats. And so it was kind of a stress relief for us too, just to see this happy dog coming in that needs some love. So yeah, I think it's a win-win.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Dr. Amber, I haven't really thought of that. Yeah.
So for our takeaways today, we're just excited to watch the progress of the People and Animals Wellbeing Act. We hope that it passes, that we can help a lot of people afford good care for their pets and make it less financially stressful. And speaking of stress, we hope that you guys have learned some coping mechanisms today, some ways to make vet visits less stressful, training less stressful for you and your pets.
Well, my takeaway will be not to be stressed about going to vet visits, and it's okay to drop your pet for not in-room visit, but probably you can drop them off. It's better for you and for your animal. So thank you, Dr. Amber, for the suggestion.
Yeah, you're welcome. So that's it for today's special episode. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow our channel for more talk about pets, tips, advice, and fun stuff.
Happiness, vibrance, and longevity for our fur babies and our planet.
This is Dr. Amber, your official veterinarian at Vital Pet Life.
This is Donnie, founder of Vital Pet Life.
Remember these tips to help you and your fur babies. Until next time.